Oh, well, you know what? We're going to tape a little bit different. Okay. You're going to get the whole different podcast episode, Bing. So Bing's on the air. And this one should have gone, we might have done live because I would never hold myself. We might not even post this one. So it's been a crazy week, Bing. I don't know how your week has been going. I mean, it's been great crazy. I don't want to say I love crazy, but it's been just nuts about nuts. Last week was fairly busy, just keeping up with my agents, keeping up with their businesses because they're just cranking it out, and I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining about being busy at all. And then this week has just been there's certain things that are happening out there in the air. I don't know. Maybe it's the incense that we're burning. Maybe it's the sage. But I'm telling you, literally, I'm being chased around like conference tables. I don't know. I'm being complimented in ways that, I don't mind at all because, I love a compliment, and I'm not as politically correct as some other people are, that if someone says I'm a sexy beast, I'm going to just take it. I'm just going to go with it. I want to know, do you mean more beast or do you mean more sexy? I don't know what's going on. I keep asking these people, do you need glasses? Have we met? But there's definitely an energy out there that I am definitely finding amusing. I am enjoying this in between closings.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. How's your week been going?
My week's been good. I had a lot of craziness in a positive way as well. I think the sage definitely did work.
Must be the sage.
I think it's got to be the sage. I got to burn more of my own sage at home. Just my parents hate the smell of it.
I'm telling you, I think that's got to be it. Things are manifesting. It's just fun.
It is.
It could be that we changed the furniture around.
And we did change the furniture around. And I think, this kind of fits into our topic of process versus product. And you wrote that on the whiteboard. Can you explain what that means?
Okay. Fine, you can keep me on track.
That is my job.
Okay. Process, and I wonder what people will say if they do watch that first part that we just recorded, because we've gotten some funny comments, right?
Yeah, we have.
Yeah. One day, maybe that's what we'll do. One day, we'll do all the funny comments, and I may or may not respond to them.
I think it's a good episode. We should do that.
So process versus product. So I was on a video shoot. Not for myself, but for one of my properties. And my photographer upped his game, totally is doing now video, full-fledged video, sound effects, the background sound. And we were filming, and it's just, it boggled my mind, the equipment, and I just posted it on as a reel on Instagram. It boggled my mind, the equipment, the weights, and you think, well, yeah, you're right. You have this huge heavy camera that's going to be videoing, and you have the landing, or I don't know what that's called, the slide that's automated, that slides the camera left to right or forward and backwards to get that effect. And it's on a tripod. And then I realized the photographer's going there and putting 10-pound weights on each side. Oh, right, because it would tip over. It makes a lot of sense. It just intrigued me at the whole process of it. I mean, we have some clips on the Instagram post where there's an umbrella in the background to keep the light from coming into one direction. So it's just, and then I was really thinking, and I just kind of thought of it. I was like, wow, everyone's going to see a video, probably less than a minute, or if you're on TikTok or Instagram, we're going to try to make it for like 35 seconds. Everyone's going to see that, and it's great. And my clients, I'm sure, will love it. I'm sure my clients will say, oh, Ted. Now, my clients do know the fact that, I kicked them out of their house for about 8, 9, 10, 11. So about 4 hours. Not to mention, so I was there at 7:30 a.m. My photographer, videographer, he was actually there at 6 a.m. In fact, the client said he was outside in his pajamas getting the newspaper. Because we had a start time of 7:30, but my photographer wanted to get a little bit of a dawn or a dawning kind of sunlight picture. So, well, anyway, it's just the process of just these little things that, it's amazing And on the other, and I also kind of brought it all the way back to real estate, where we focus sometimes. Some people do, some others, maybe a little more relaxed and have a little more sage in their life. A lot of people focus on the commission check, and this came up into my mind because I hand people commission checks all the time. It's great, and every so often, sometimes if it's maybe a project or a transaction that I was involved in, you always wonder. You always want to say, you didn't really participate in the process. And that's where the real learning was. The real learning is when you go to the trouble of meeting the appraiser, the inspector, appraiser, surveyor, speaking with the other side, the agent, speaking with the other attorney, speaking with your attorney. And on the topic of great fun, great crazy, I will say I've enjoyed a lot of great people on my transactions, and we're going to do a podcast with one of them in particular because he has a really good understanding of the business, and I love a specific strategy that he has. So we'll be bringing him on as a guest as well. But it's just that's where the real learning happens. And I'll say that I'm lucky, or maybe I just didn't know any better. I participated in the process always, even when I didn't know what I was doing. So maybe I participated and I did more. What are the chances? I could not have done more bad than good. And it's just maybe people underestimate and are focused too much on, it doesn't matter if it's going to be, the check is for $1,000 or $100,000. You can learn something from each of those transactions. And that part just is amazing to me. We're always learning. The alternative is not really fun, but it's amazing. And I'm wondering how many people out there, you can give me an idea what you think, Bing, in a second. How many people out there take the time to really start to focus on the process and the one foot in front of the other kind of mentality, not the, where's my check? Or, it's going to be a big check. Or I don't even know how to explain it, but it's the old cliche process. I'm using the word the process versus the product, but the journey versus the destination, and the road to a closing table versus the closing check. That, sometimes you spend it sometimes it doesn't matter how big the closing check is, it gets spent really fast because some people are better budgeters than others.
I would say it's a small amount of people, and I think the difference is when you learn about the process. There's two types of people. Everyone starts in business for themselves with the goal of making money, but the people that stay in business take the time to understand and look critically at what they're doing and what's working, what's not working, and then apply that. So they apply their findings through continuing to work, and that's when the ability to look at, big check, but look at all the infrastructure you have to build and the things you have to do for that big check, and can I do that at this operating level? And that's really what sets apart someone looking to make a quick bag versus someone looking to build a business. Do you have the tools and the ability
and
to get the big
I really
check?
feel it's about commitment.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And so that boggles my mind all the time. How can you not be committed to yourself?
And if you're not willing to
I've been committed twice.
Twice?
No, I have not.
Okay.
They've never attempted to commit me, but I should be committed.
Oh, Jesus.
So it surprises me how people in our business, in my business itself, it's us. We're the real estate agent. We're the independent contractor. It does boggle my mind. Commitment versus excuses. And people,
say so, yeah.
I hope people don't take it personally as to what I'm saying. I'm saying it internally, that maybe someone can say, wait a minute, I have not been committed to myself. And I've had years of that. I've had months, years, whatever. There's been times where I should have been more committed to myself. And so, we're all, we're all, I guess, guilty of it. It is strange because I have the curtains up in a certain way now, Bing, and I can't really see you.
Oh, yes.
But it does keep you focused on the camera.
Hey, listen, but that's the thing. It's like we're experimenting with new things and trying to, make it work. And you know,
like even this podcast, it kind of started in one direction, then I don't know where we went, and at the end of the day,
well, it's about commitment. I mean, listen, it's the process. It's the process versus the product. If you have a good process, you're going to have a good product. You can't, I feel like they're both essential. If you have a bad process, you're going to have a bad product.
But I think they're both essential. But I think that the process is so much more important than the product. Well, I feel you could have a great check, and if you really didn't learn from the process, it just fell by the wayside.
Right.
Because if you learn from the process, you can always recreate that check. And if you only learn that there's a check, and never learn the process, you are not able to recreate the process.
Well, I feel like for us, our product is the process. I don't really think they're versing each other. I don't think they're like stacked up against each other. I think it's more like...
Oh, see, I refer to the product as the check.
Oh, okay.
I refer to the product as the check.
Okay.
How about you? Like, for instance, your payment.
Yeah.
Your payment can happen, but if the process didn't happen, and we're getting along here pretty well.
Yeah.
You seem to be doing a very nice job for me. A lot of my guests love the podcast. I don't know where we're at with subscribers, but again, I'm not doing it for the subscribers. I'm doing it because it's a nice outlet, and maybe I think there's been a handful of podcasts especially with some of our guests where there's actually learning out of it. I learned something, and hopefully a viewer learned something. I mean, I don't know. I just say what I say.
Well, that's a great thing about podcasts is it's a great educational tool, and it's an extra boost to your online personality, and it complements your business quite well. And I think,
in fact, I do have a story, but
okay.
No, I'm not going to share it.
No, I'm
not going to share it. Well, business has begotten from a recent podcast.
Really?
Yeah, but anyway.
Good. See, that's the good thing. It's the process makes the product happen. In your words, it's. You need to have a good process, and I agree with you in my industry and in your industry.
Well, you need to participate in the process. That's where I'm at a loss when it comes to some of the people in our industry. They don't realize. A lot of people say, I don't have to be in the office to do real estate. No, you don't have to be in the office. You also don't have to use American currency. But good luck getting a Starbucks.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you could do it. There's a reason things are done a certain way, and it's just because there's been success attributed to it, and you gotta. I admire.
I don't have to wear pants.
You don't have to.
But I get better results when I do. Well, in business.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, when it comes to success and finding success, I admire people that want to try different things, but you got to also be real with yourself and understand if it's not working or you're not getting the results you want, you're going to have to change things.
And speaking of trying different things, by trying different things, it doesn't have to be the newest, the latest thing. How about, like, some people don't go to the trouble to try the old things that may do well for them. Like when I mentioned the vision board gentleman, he decided to try it the old way, and he texted me and it made my day. I was like, that is awesome. Take a picture. I want to see what your vision board is. And so I see his goal, and that's great. And, by doing that, he actually can further manifest it, because the more people you share your goal with, somebody might say, oh yeah, like, anyway, vision boards.
That's part of the process.
Yes, vision boards are part of the process. Looking at your goals day after day, minute after minute, if it's possible, will lead you to have a focus on, where your focus goes, your energy goes. So that's the whole purpose to a vision board, to make what you want your focus, and inadvertently, or hopefully advertently, you actually commit. And And vision boards have always helped me. Visualizing, setting goals has always helped me. I mean, even you, Bing, you're thinking of your own podcast studio, right?
Yeah.
So,
yes. That's down the line.
Yeah. So
I want to own a couple of convenience stores, some Dunkin' Donuts. I'd like to own a fourplex. I want to make as much money. I want to be a millionaire by the time I'm in my 30s. So, these are things that... And
there's only 2 ways to do that.
Two ways to do that. 3 ways. Okay.
Hard
work.
3 ways. And commit to yourself.
Okay.
Or win the lottery.
I'll choose the hard work
and marry
commit.
into it.
I'll choose the hard work and commit to it.
And back to the process argument here. The last 2 ways are getting the product without enjoying the process. Follow? And how many people have we heard stories that they win the lottery and then they live check to check? Mm-hmm. That also, and I'm not saying I wouldn't be one of those people, but I would like to have the chance to see if I would be. And obviously, option number 3, marrying into money. Prenups always exist, and divorce can always exist. So it's not exactly as sure a thing as you might think. So if you did option number 1, hard work, guess what you can do? Even if you built yourself up to a millionaire by 30, and then circumstances happen, markets crash, crazy stuff happens, you actually have the process under your belt, and you know how to go back up.
And you can work through it. And you appreciate it more. You appreciate the value of the dollar more. People that marry into it or win it or just have it handed to them don't appreciate it. I
would appreciate the lottery win.
Well, the thing is, you've worked hard your whole life, so you understand the value of a dollar. But there's a lot of people that they're just constantly looking for get rich quick, and they don't really appreciate how hard it is to make a lot of money or make money at all. And
I still say it's a conscious choice that people have to make to commit.
Yeah,
and commit. I guess this podcast now is really called Commit. Same way people commit to chasing me around a conference table, and I'm okay. I'm happy about that because I committed to going to the gym 7 times a week. I'm the reason for. We are the reason for all our problems. You can't take the if you want the credit for all your success, you have to take the credit for any of your issues as well.
Absolutely.
I don't like to use the word problem, but maybe I should. It's okay. If you're going to take the credit for your success, you have to take the blame for your problems too.
Yeah. I mean, I personally would rather take blame for something that I did myself than, because when the difference between being an employee and an owner is that, like, if you're an employee, a lot of the problems that do happen, especially at some of my other jobs, it would be really just the fault of someone above me or something I couldn't control. Like with equipment, for example, and I worked at a radio station, if the equipment was bad, there was nothing I could do about it. We just had to work with what we had. But now that I'm the business owner, I could just buy new equipment or fix it because it's mine, So I feel like I have more control to fix and remedy things than I did when I was an employee, and I really like that, being able to take ownership of the problems that exist.
I am definitely going to mention a book. I think I mention one book all the time, Outliers, 10,000 Hours. But I'm going to mention another book, and if you have the chance to read it. I may actually go ahead and reread it. It's a book called The Principles of Cause and Effect. And it really is very eye-opening about success and how what successful people do to become successful. And like, people by no means make I'm pretty cool, but that's about all. There's so many people that are so much more successful, even in this field and in other fields, of course. So I'm in awe of people that exceed and obtain uber success. So I'd say I'm humbled by it, but everyone knows that I don't get humbled. So, boy, this one, I feel like, who's been burning sage here? I'm feeling very relaxed.
You came here in your sleep and you did it.
Yep. It's been a busy day. It's like, this is something that had to get done. Bing.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. I think that'll do it.
That'll do it, yeah. So tell the folks where they can find you.
They can find me on the Real Ted G podcast on Spotify, on YouTube, on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. I feel like where he should be on TikTok. I'm not sure if I really am, but you can see a reel of mine here and there on TikTok.
We're going to start posting more podcast content on there, so the folks will get their fill of it on TikTok.
Okay. And I'm Ted.
And I'm Bing. See you guys later.